Gilbert. Welcome to my live call tonight. And it deals with how do we get people's attention when they're so focused on fear, the coronavirus, and you're trying to get them to look at what you do and your product. How do you do this? I've been involved in network marketing over 40 years. I share a lot of what I've learned in my journey on these live calls. And I started in this business totally broke. I sold a junk truck for $400, put $200 in my business. That was 27 years ago. Been full-time ever since. So if you'd like to have that kind of life, and that's called working from home, because that's what I've been. For 27 years, I've been a work-at-home entrepreneur, and I love it. I recommend it. I say it's the best thing. And now we say it's the best thing for two reasons. It's healthier, and you got time freedom. You make more money. Hey, Sicilian, yeah, he says we're in a lockdown. Yeah, well, there's a lot of places doing that. So let's talk about that. What do you do in lockdowns? I tell you right now, you still can build a business. I mean, you're Sicilian, you're in the Philippines, and look at that. You're online right now. So we're connected right now. Prashant in India, nice to see you. So Sicilian, you see right now, this is what we're going to talk about, because you can still get your business done even in a lockdown. And I bet you that baby's keeping you busy, Chelsea. I'm so happy for you. Brandy in Chattanooga, what's going on there? One of my Tennessean friends, neighbors, good to see you. So, one thing I've been hearing from some of the leaders, it's hard to get anybody's attention because everybody's so afraid of the coronavirus, so focused on that. I mean, it's like they don't listen to anything. You send them a message, send them a video, whatever. What do you do? And here's the thing, guys. These are not normal times, right? I mean, we haven't experienced anything like this. And good to see you, Kindred, Greenville, Tennessee, not too far from me. Good to see you, Jennifer in Kansas. We haven't, they haven't experienced anything like this, I would say, since the Spanish flu of 1919. And that was just a page in history because we don't remember that. Even my father wouldn't remember that. And so people have never experienced anything like this before. So of course they're going to be freaked out. And the more they stay glued to the media about what's going on, the more fearful they're going to become. And I'm not saying all that fear is bad. I think some of that fear is good. Because if we're not proactive in protecting our families, it could be a real problem. And that's not something that you want to experience by any means. So the thing about it is, but let's look at the, I was just watching Sean Hannity on Fox News, and he was saying, if possible, what you do with your work, if you can do it from home, please work from home. I thought, work from home? Wow. You know, that's what network marketers have been telling people, the advantages of working from home. Google strikes that as, you know, if you try to have an ad work from home, if you try to do it in any social media platform, they'll say, no way, no way. Can't say network marketing. We don't want those words. Work from home. We don't want those words. Work at home dad, work at home mom. Those are words and sentences that they don't want ever as advertising. No way. So they've hated us for that. And I've always wondered, what's the big deal? I mean, is this like a thing where the government just wants to make sure that we're chained to a job? That way they can tax the heck out of us. And, and then they know exactly what we make, and they make sure they get as much tax out of us as they can. It's just one of those, it's all about control. And so as entrepreneurs, and we see this more and more, and I'll tell you, when this whole coronavirus thing is over, network marketing is totally vindicated what we've always said. Home-based business is the best business. It's not only the most profitable, but it's also time freedom to be with your family, do things, but also it's the safest way of working, because you don't have to worry about going to work and being around people who are infected with a virus, because after the coronavirus, there will be what? Another virus. Because there have been several coronaviruses, right? Now they call this one 19, right? So anyway, I lose, just track of all this, but it's always another virus. So why would you not work from home? It only makes sense. So what do we do? So it gets frustrating. I get that. Zita from Florida, nice to see you. Katie, nice to see you, Katie. I get your frustrations too. You want to move your business forward, and frankly, I have a lot of teams doing very well right now. As a matter of fact, they did better when this virus came around. Really did. Because I'm in a wellness product company. So obviously people are looking for any kind of product that will empower their immune systems, right? So if you're in a wellness company, then hopefully you have something like that. And so the thing is, I've been growing, but at the same time, what we're going to see is as people become more glued to their TV sets, or I call it a TV set. It's an old, just gave my age away. They're flat screens, okay? Or they're smartphones. And they get this news, the more paranoid they're going to get. And, I was just talking to a good old friend, Jared Yellen, today, and he's created a lot of systems for network marketers. Awesome, totally awesome guy. And he said, well, Jeff, I think really this week we're gonna see he's gonna have to shut it down and quarantine this country. That's the only way you can stop a spread. So I think as people hear more and more about it, and they also have that in their mind that we're moving to that point now, it's going to be a little bit more challenging to get their attention, because they're thinking of what? They're thinking with their brain, man. They're not thinking with their heart. They're thinking with their brain, because that's how we were built. That's how we were wired. And that is, we want to protect. We want to survive. That's what we do, right? So you're going to see, I went into 2 different stores today. And matter of fact, one was a Walmart, of course, I don't even have to tell you, no toilet paper, right? Sure, of course. I just went by the aisle, I didn't even think about it. But no flour, no rice. I heard 2 women talking on one aisle, and they were saying, and they looked at me and they said, you know what? I've never seen anything like this in all my life. Even during the holidays, it's never this bad. But see, that's what people are doing now. They're preparing. And there's nothing wrong with preparing, and I think every family should make sure that you have food set aside. Make sure you have the things that you need. Look at China. China, even though they went to a quarantine and a lockdown, every family had an assigned time when they could go to the market and get what they need, and then it was only one member that was allowed to do it, and then they had to turn around and go back home. But look at China now. 80% of China is going back to work. I mean, so they fixed it. They quarantined it, and they got control of it. Not all. I mean, there's still some parts of China that's quarantined, but for the most part, it's done very well. And so that's the thing. So again, don't get so frustrated when people are in the survival mode. That's just, it's human nature, right? It's only human nature. You want to get their attention. I get that. So just be patient. So when you send somebody a link to look at your video, and that's what you should be doing now. So if you're one of those that's used to doing venue meetings where people actually get together, that wouldn't be safe to do that right now. I don't care where you are in this world, okay? It just would not be very safe. So again, use the tools. Learn how to use Zoom. And then, yeah, that's right. So Brandy says, now look at Italy. They've been telling us for a week that they need to be quarantined now. See, Italy didn't take it seriously. They're like, hey, man, you ain't going to tell me what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out and drink with my buddies. We're going to party tonight, I got a lady, whatever. And then it's like, And then I remember they were also saying, the liberals were saying, oh, man, what they're saying about coronavirus, they're actually, they're just making the Chinese look bad. So what we need to do is we need to hug Chinese. We need to hug Chinese. And not every Chinese person has coronavirus, right? But what do? They put all their guards down, and look where it got them. Italy's in a mess. It's in a mess. I talked to a guy in Rome the other day, and just what's going on. You see it. You see what's going on. So the thing about it is, just understand that, again, use the tools, work from home, learn how to use Zoom, download it, talk to your leaders on it, learn how to send a video, and then also follow up. Now that's crucial. Now, here's what's challenging, because that they're focused on this crisis, right? And they're in the survival mode. Okay, that's all right, So that means you're going to have to do more follow-up than what you're used to, okay? That means it's going to take more effort. You don't stop. You don't stop. It's like going down the interstate, and there's a lot of traffic, right? And you're a little frustrated because stuff is in your way, right? And you want to be somewhere. You finally get an open lane. How long do you stay in the open lane? You stay there as long as you can. And that's what you do with these people. And unless they say, shut up, get out of here, I don't want to hear from you anymore. Unless they say that, keep following up. Stay in the open lane and stay with them. And then just say, hey, man, I know you might have some things going on, you're busy and all that. I just want you to know, that I just, concerned about you. And here's what I want you guys to do too, is that if you know that people are concerned and you're saying, well, I can't find any hand sanitizer. I did this with a woman at a grocery store the other day. And she was saying, I can't, and she was in one of those, those electric buggies. She can't walk very well. So, and then she's saying, up on that shelf, do you see any? I said, no, there's not going to be any of that. I said, let me just tell you what you need to do. And I said, just go get you some 90 proof rubbing alcohol. Or if you can't find that, 70 and above, but preferably 90, and put some aloe vera with it. And if you can get vitamin E, the liquid too, that's fine. If you can't, aloe vera will do, but if you can get both, great. If you want to put your favorite essential oil, you can do that too. That's known for being antiviral. You make your own. You just make your own. That's what my family does. That's what we do here. So when I go out in town, I got my own stuff. I got it with me. So that's one thing that you can do, is give practical value to people instead of just ignoring what's on their mind. And, instead of doing that and say, hey, I just want to get back with you and see if you had a chance to look at that video yet. And they're thinking, man, I don't care about that video. I care about my kids. I care about my family. I care about being ready before we get to a lockdown situation. Well, then So then what we need to do is just acknowledge the reality. When they talk about it, let's not, just change the conversation or the subject to what you want to talk about. Let's engage with them, give them practical advice. Say, oh, okay, so have you got some food stored up for your family, your members? Do you have that? Okay, good. What about medicines? Is there any member of the family that depends on medication? You might want to get some additional scripts written by the doctor stored in a fridge in case you need it. Practical information that you can give people. If you do that, they're going to be more inclined to listen about your opportunity and your product. So that's the thing. It's, we just got to be very empathetic. And no doubt you might have the same feelings yourself. So if you do, that's great. If you were one of those that, I prepared for this, 6 months ago, I'm one of those, one of those persons that always anticipated this problem. I knew it was coming. I talked to one friend who said he knows a group that's been preparing for this for 20 years. 20 years. Oh gosh. Let me tell you something. If China can get a hold of this and they kept food distribution going just fine, electricity was going just fine, there were no blackouts, okay, you're going to be fine in the United States or in Australia or what country you're in. No doubt your government, that's not going to change. They're going to make sure that hey, Justine, nice to see you. They're going to make sure that you're able to get what you need. So just let's some fear is appropriate. Some of it is, we're going too far with it. So the thing is, just take care of your family, and then when you talk to people, and again you're trying to get their attention, just be empathetic and engage with them, give practical suggestions, and then after you've done that, and say, yeah, so it's going to be all right. Be reassuring. Tell them, say, listen, look at China. They didn't lose their electricity or their food supply or their water, so we're going to be fine. Just reassure, be comforting, and then say, and that link I sent you, hopefully this product will be helpful to you as well. I mean, it was helpful to my family. I'm a big believer in it. So I don't know when you'll have some time to look at. Do you think you'll have any time today? And then that's it. And when they say, well, yeah, I think I can hear in just a little bit. Say, if you don't mind, let me call you back in an hour. Take a look at it now. And then I'll call you back in an hour. And then if it's something you're interested in, why don't we just get that product ordered for you? Or if it has to do with your opportunity or both, say, no doubt, you see the wisdom now of, just working from home. Because they're looking at, hey, I'm going to be out of a job. Now think about that, friends. This is really big. I'm telling you the truth here now. Like in our situation here, there's different people that work for us. I love these people. These people have been working for my family for over 10 years. And also I got a masseuse, in town. So for the last almost 10 years now, me and my wife always go to her every week. Every week, that's regular income that she depends on, right? But I had to call her and say, you know what? I'm sorry, but I can't go back anymore because I don't know who's coming in your salon. I don't know who these people are. And I have to know. I have to have some certainty. And then I said, and you're exposed too. It's not good for you. So unfortunately, her business is going to tank, right? Same thing with the people. I've got 2 ladies that have been cleaning for me, love them to death. I treat them really good. And, I told them, I said, I love you. One sent me a message because I brought it up to him. I said, once this gains some momentum, you won't be able to come here. And so she sent me a message last night. Can I come tomorrow? I said, no, you can't come. Because I don't know who you're going around other people. Your kids are going around other people. This is a chain reaction, and this is how it's passed. It's highly, it transmits so fast. It's so infectious. So, and it was hard for me to do that, but here's what I did too. Not everybody can do that, I agree. But I also said, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pay you your salaries anyway. So I'm going to pay you to stay away. That's it. So I don't want your family suffering because of this, okay? But are these companies going to do that for work? Like in the area that we are, this is a service industry. We get 12 million visitors here a year. And, what are all these people going to do? They have jobs. It's going to be a mess. Well, that's for our government to figure out. I sure hope they're not just concerned about bailing out all these, industry giants. I don't think they need bailouts. I think it's people. People need help, So and where I'm going with this. So when I talk to people that go through things like that, I say, this is the reason why I work from home, or one of the reasons. I don't want to depend on somebody for a job, and then you lose your job or something. Who would have ever saw this coming, right? And look what this would do to an economy. And yet I see so much focus. I saw this from a leader today that focused, she says, worse than the lives, it's the economy I'm worried about. I'm like, what? I mean, she's a 7-figure earner in another company. I'm like, come on. You know what? I'm not concerned about the economy as much. I'm more concerned about the lives. The economy will always come back. It will always come back. That is for sure. It's like the stock market. When it hits crashes, it always comes back. So when this thing blows over, look at China. Perfect example. Perfect example. Here they locked down for 2.5 months? Now they're going to be back in business. What's the alternative? The alternative is you don't do that, and then you got a sick country and a lot of dead people, and what's that going to do to your economy? How do people go to work when they're sick? So again, when people share their concerns about that, say, you know what? I don't know if this would be for you. It was for me, but I chose to work from home, and I love it. I love the tax advantages I get from it. I like the fact that I can always give myself a pay increase, and I don't have to worry about going somewhere to work and working around people who might be infected with something. It's even when you don't have coronavirus, if somebody has the flu, and these flu bugs have mutated quite a bit. So I mean, just in December, when I was at the Date with Destiny, a 6-day event, like 14-hour days, crazy, right? Tony Robbins. And there were 5,000 people in West Palm Beach. When a lot of those people left that event and went home, they were sick with the flu. And I mean very sick. And they were sick for weeks. It was wicked. So I'm just saying, talk about the advantages of your home-based business to people. And when you think about it, now that if they're in quarantine, if they're in lockdown, and they can't go to work, they can join you and start making money. Because as long as your company can ship products, as long as you got shipping going on, and that's working for you, I'm telling you the truth. Because, for example, I go back to China again, and you heard me mention this maybe on previous lives. We have a young woman with us that is from China, can't go back to China, not because China's not safe now. It's safe. America's not safe. The airports aren't. She can't fly back. So what did she do when she was here? Because I met her at a Tony Robbins event. And I said, well, you can't go back to China, because at that time it wasn't safe. I said, you can come stay with us and I'll teach you network marketing. She'd never been involved in network marketing. So what does she do? She gets on a Zoom call, loads her friends. She knows just a lot of great people in China. And in 12 days, she has 165 people in her team. She hits the 3rd level of the compensation plan, does over $20,000. I mean, I saw her. I mean, this girl is bold. I mean, the very first day I saw her, and I was watching her on a Zoom call. She had 40 people at that time on the Zoom, And see, she said, okay, you've seen the product, you've seen the opportunity. I explained to you the plan, how to come in, what the purchase level is, which is less than $200, and what the product is, of course, what the value of the product is. She says, at this point now, if you are in, stay on this call. If you are not in, get off the call. She was just that direct, you know. And most of them stayed on. And then every day she was doing it, doing the same thing, doing the same thing, doing the same thing. And I'm just saying, and she did that from where? From an office? No. She did that from home, recruiting people back in China when coronavirus was still a big issue. Same thing in the United States, same thing Australia, same thing Philippines, wherever you are. You don't need to look at your limitations. You need to look at your possibilities. What can you do? How can you connect with people? Have some urgency behind your opportunity, your product. Again, have urgency. Let them know this is your time. This is your time where you can build a business from home. So you can't go to work, you're in quarantine, life doesn't end. Now let's make some money. Maybe you couldn't get their attention at the time. They were so busy gathering things from stores. Okay. Friends, I'm going to tell you, you're going to have a lot of people in a lockdown situation in the countries you are in. And this is the time to talk to them. You got a captured audience. That's what we used to joke about the Chinese. I told her that. I said, well, you got a captured audience. They can't go anywhere. And it's really funny, even though in the U.S., we might come to like I said, a quarantine, can't go out, can't do anything. And I joked with her. I said, now in China, they're all going to be going out. And I said, you watch, your team will probably grow dramatically. It'll go crazy. So you take this time that you have to build a solid base with new people. And then when this thing passes, it'll unleash in a very big way. You got to see it that way. You got to understand it that way. Don't look at your limitations, but be patient with people in your follow-up. That's the thing that you need to do. Just be patient with them. That's all. They'll come around. Just understand they're scared. And it's understandable. It's understandable. This is not the flu, okay? Some people have been there's so much false information about this, and it doesn't matter what your status is, whether you're famous. I mean, Tom Hanks has it, his wife too. Now we heard some pro ball players have it now. I mean, it doesn't matter what your financial status is. I mean, this is going to impact a lot of people. So the thing is, be safe and teach people how to be safe, give value. So acknowledge their fears, don't ignore it. And then talk about what you want to after you've done that. They're going to be receptive. And then talk about the value of your product, the value of your home-based business. I've been working a home-based business for 27 years. And I can tell you, if you have to work, there's no place like home. That's a fact. I love it. I've always loved it. And I've lived in different houses. In South Carolina, I lived in a beautiful 1860 Greek Revival house with the pillars out front. I started in that house, working the business from there. Later, I got a lake house. I used to just love going out on the lake, getting on my Sea-Doo, and then just going out at different times of day, coming back in the house, making phone calls. Then after that, I ended up having an ocean house, a penthouse, right on the ocean on the island of Guam. And I used to work my business from that penthouse. And I just would go out on my balcony, and just look out at the waves come rolling in that. You're just so beautiful, so beautiful. So I'm just saying, that a home-based, hey, Archie Schrader, a home-based business is the best. And that's what people need to understand. And I'll tell you, like I said, there's some things that people are going to wake up to here in a big way after this coronavirus. They're going to understand that big pharma is not going to save them. It's not. They have to take a educated understanding of how their body works and what they need to do to have good health, and then supplements that can enhance that. Many of you sell those supplements. So that's one thing. Second, the network marketing profession is going to be totally vindicated. And these jerks in Google and some of these other platforms out there, can't say all their names, you know why. Anyway, the thing is that have always ridiculed and hate home-based business, we're going to be totally vindicated. It's the best way. It's the safest way for people to work today. And I'll tell you, so you're going to see more people receptive to your products, more people receptive to the concept of working from home. So hang in there and be safe in what you do, and be patient with the people you're prospecting. Just understand they got a lot on their mind right now, but pretty soon it's gonna get to a situation they're not going to be able to go out, and you're going to have a captured audience. So take advantage of that, and then show them the value of your product, show them the value of your opportunity, and be safe. Okay, I love all you guys. Love all you guys. And hey, Way, nice to see you. Yeah, there you go. She says, be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. Way, very good quote from Warren Buffett. Awesome. Love it. Love all you guys, everyone. And good. Oh, here's a friend from South Korea just got in. Annyeonghaseyo, my friend. They're in a lockdown situation in South Korea. Actually, South Korea's handling it really good. So I'm telling you, you'll get beyond this. Italy did it wrong. South Korea did it right. And China did it right. Taiwan did it right. We got enough good examples. We know how to do it. So stay safe, okay? Love you. I'll see you tomorrow night.